Hey guys, welcome back to this week's video. It's going to be a long one this week. We're going to be looking at some crazy first date stories, so make sure you have your snack and whatever you're drinking on. I'm drinking on the cranberry winter edition. I get this every year. It's my favorite, but we're just going to get into it today. I don't have any of my own personal first date stories, but some of these make me glad because I don't think I'd ever do first dates if I had some of these experiences.
And since we're all sharing our worst first dates, let me tell you mine. I never thought I was gonna share this with the internet because there's so many elements of this that's so bad. Here we go. I matched with this guy. His name was Gospel. That is his name, and I think his behavior that night was so heinous that he doesn't warrant anonymity. And also his name's Gospel. That adds to the story. This was like 4 years ago. We match on Hinge. And we're going back and forth. He says, hey, let's do like a wine and paint night. I say, that sounds so fun. We end up having a wine and paint night at my place. Now, I've since grown up a little since then. That was 4 years ago. I was 26, new to the dating app world. I was just inviting people over to my house for the first night. I've stopped scheduling.
I would not invite anybody to my house on the first night. That's lunatic. To each their own, though.
First dates at my apartment. At the time, I'm living in downtown Los Angeles. He texts me saying, hey, I'm here, I'm in the parking lot. We were gonna walk to a Target that was nearby, and we were going to buy wine and painting supplies and have like a little night of that. So I go and I meet him in the parking lot. Right when I meet him in the parking lot, he does this number. And he goes, oh my God, I forgot my wallet. Now that should have been my sign to be like, oh, you should go then, because parking isn't free. I don't know what I'm doing, so I say, oh, no problem. He's like, do you mind? Like, I can Venmo you. I'm like, sure. I pay his $7 to park at my apartment. We start walking to Target. He's walking in front of me. I don't like that. We get to Target. We start shopping around. We get like paints. We get easels. We get a bottle of wine. We get to the checkout. Again, I forgot that he didn't have his wallet. Things are scanning. I'm standing there in my head wondering like, oh, is he gonna pay for all this? Then suddenly, right when I'm at the register, I go, this bitch doesn't have his wallet. So he looks at me and he goes, sorry, I don't have my wallet. I'm like, pay for everything at Target. We walk back to my place. He stops at his car and he goes, oh wait, can I get my backpack from my car? Why am I letting a stranger with a backpack enter my apartment? I don't know. I go, sure, get your backpack. He gets his backpack. We walk into my apartment. He's wearing like a black zip up and like gray joggers. Okay? So not really dressed up for a first date. It's fine. We're just gonna hang out at my apartment. We get inside my apartment. We sit at my table in my kitchen. We start talking to each other. Again, I just met this man, so I don't know anything about him, so we're just going back and forth. We're sitting down. He opens up his backpack. He tells me, oh, I brought a gift for you. I say, wait, that's so nice. He is Nigerian. He says, yeah, in my culture, in Nigerian culture, if you go to someone's house for the first time, you have to bring them a gift. I say, oh, that's so sweet. He pulls out a diptyque candle. I say, ah. Okay. He hands me the candle. I say, this is so nice of you. I put it on the table. Then he tells me that he just came back from a bachelor party and that he has party favors in his backpack. If you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. If you don't worry about it. I go, ah, okay. He starts pulling out the party favors. He has one party favor and another party favor. He asks if I'd like to imbibe in either of the party favors. I say, no, thank you. I just met you. I, again, should have been like, you need to leave. I don't know you, and now you're bringing party favors into my apartment. You've got to go. I'm just a child. I'm just a girl. I will say that one of the party favors he brings is, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, so I'm going to say grass. Grass, and then another party favor. I for sure say no to this party favor, but I say yes to the grass. I watch him roll up the grass.
Okay, girl, there's no way that you're taking grass off of somebody that you just met. You don't know what's in that. And then he has money for that, but he doesn't have money to pay for like the drinks and everything like that. I would feel like this is kind of a setup or something.
And I'm thinking, okay, maybe this will calm me down. He passes me the grass, I imbibe in the grass, and then it doesn't calm me down, it makes me more paranoid. Now I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I just took grass from a stranger. I'm going to die now. I start to panic. I don't die. Spoiler alert. Now we've chatted, whatever. I've calmed down. Everything's fine. Now we start to paint each other. I actually still have these paintings somewhere in my apartment lying around. This is a new apartment, but I still have them. If you want to see them, tell me. We're talking as we're painting. He's being super cheesy. He's just like, at that time I had just gotten out of a 12-year relationship. He's like, wow, I can't believe a guy would have fumbled you. Like, look at you, you're at your place. My apartment in downtown was sick. Floor to ceiling glass. It was beautiful. Decorated very nicely. I can show you that too if you're interested. He's like, look at this place. Look at what you do. You're so successful. Like, how could somebody have fumbled? And I'm just like, okay, you're being cheesy. You don't know me. I could be insane. The best thing that came of this night is that he introduced me to Fleabag, which is such a good show. Go and sit on my couch. Now we're just watching Fleabag. Oh, side note, I told you I engaged in the grass party favor. He had been engaging in both party favors. So we do grass together, and then he does the rest of it all on his own, and I'm just kind of watching this man do this in my living room, and I'm like, who is this? And why am I allowing this? We're watching Fleabag. He goes, do you mind if I change into something more comfortable? I go, no problem. He then takes off his sweater. Underneath his sweater, all he's wearing is a white tank top, like a wife pleaser, if you will. He takes that off, and now this man is just shirtless in his joggers in my living room. Now, I will say he did have a six-pack, and so ultimately, like, that wasn't the biggest problem. I'm just like, okay, why is he naked? Like, I'm fully in my clothes. What is happening? Obviously, now I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen. Like, we're gonna get into something. We end up kissing. Okay, we're kissing, and then he's like, do you want to move to your bedroom? Fine, whatever, we're here. Let's get on with it. He was a good kisser, and he was...
Let's normalize not having that type of encounter on the first date. Can we do that, please? Can we have a little bit of respect for ourselves?
I mean, he was fit. So we go to my bedroom, and now we're doing what people do in a bedroom. And this is the part that, like, really just makes me so upset every time I think about it. I haven't gotten over it. He has been imbibing in this party favor all night, so he is sweaty, and but he's sweating a lot, and I'm just kind of like, this is kind of grossing me out. He is on top of me, and he is sweating, and he's making these like crazy noises, and I'm just like, okay, this is like really a bit much for me. On my bed, I have a $75 Anthropologie pillow that I love dearly. I watch this man grab my Anthropologie pillow, use it, and wipe his whole body down with it, so that way the sweat gets off of his body, and then throw the Anthropologie pillow across my room. Oh my God, I've never been more violated. We finish, thank God. I'm so over this guy now. Continues to imbibe in his party favors.
Call me old school, but why are you gonna give somebody that part of you if you don't even want it? Like, how are you gonna be like, oh, thank God it was over? Like, why even do it in the first place? Like, I think that a lot of people are scared that if you don't give into it, then it's just gonna be taken from you. So it's kind of easier to just say yes so that like something bad doesn't happen. But at the end of the day, kick them out before it gets to that level if you feel like you're not gonna want that, because that's degrading as a woman, in my personal opinion.
Man named Gospel, who's the son of a preacher. We finish, I go into my restroom, he walks to my living room, whatever. I come out of the restroom. Why is this man at my fridge helping himself to my grapes? I go, oh, you're really making yourself comfortable. He goes, sorry, I was a little hungry. And then he goes, do you have food? No, I don't have food. You need to leave. You know, at this point, I have no backbone. I don't know how to say no to anyone. And when he says that he's hungry, he goes, hey, I noticed a hibachi food truck outside of your place. I said, yeah, there's a hibachi food truck out there. He goes, I'm kind of hungry. Are you? I say, no. I kind of want some of that. I say, okay, well, it's right outside, so maybe on your way to your car, you can go get that. He goes, no, come on, let's go together. I don't know how to say no, so I say, okay. Walk with this man downstairs to the hibachi steak food truck. And as we're walking there, I'm just like, I'm so over this. I really just want this night to end. We're waiting in line. He's making conversation with me. I'm just like, please let this night end. We get to the front. He's like, what are you going to order? I say, I don't want anything. I'm not hungry. He goes, oh, okay.
He doesn't have his wallet. She's going to have to pay for it.
He orders lobster fried rice and a steak. As he's standing there finishing ordering, the girl says, okay, that'll be $40. This man steps to the side like this and looks at me as if he were a child and I was his mother, because remember, he doesn't have his wallet. And I should have been like, oh, sounds like you can't get your food. Sounds like you should walk to your car and I'm gonna walk to my apartment. Bye, see you never. I don't do that. I say, and here's my card. Go ahead, charge it. Jazz. I pay for the hibachi. We walk back to my apartment. I'm in such an annoyed mood. It's like almost 2 o'clock in the morning at this point. We sit in my living room. We're watching Fleabag. He's eating his food. He goes,
you took him back to your place?
Is this what it would be like to be married to you? Like, I could really see myself spending the rest of my life with you. I say, you're crazy. You need to leave. I'm never going to talk to you after this night. He eats his stupid little food. I say, okay, I'm tired. Like, I need you to leave. He goes, okay, like, do you want to go again? And I say, no, thank you. And he goes, are you sure? He leaves my apartment. As he's at my door, it's like the end of January, so Valentine's Day is around the corner. He goes, hey, like, I'd really love for you to be my Valentine. If you're free Valentine's Day weekend, like, I'd love to take you out. I just go, oh my God, please leave. Like, please get the hell out of here. I say, okay, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Bye. I say bye to him. He walks out. That night, I sleep on my couch because I can't dream of sleeping in my bed. My bed feels so violated and disgusting. My poor Anthropologie pillow just ruined in the corner. I couldn't. It was a crime scene. I couldn't go back in there. Sleep on my couch. I wake up in the morning. His party favors are all around my apartment. I'm like mortified by this. I start picking everything up. I start cleaning. I change my sheets. I wash my sheets. Like, he's already texted me saying, "Had such a good night. Your wifey material." One of my best friends, Alana, I'm on the phone with her. I'm telling her everything. And I say, the only good thing that came of it is that I learned Fleabag and I got a diptyque candle out of it. No problem. Finally finished cleaning. I'm thinking, I'm gonna light that candle and just call it a day. The way that this man took his candle back. That candle was nowhere to be found. It was not in my apartment. When he was packing up his little backpack, putting all his stuff in there, he put the candle back in there. Months later, I get a Venmo from him, and it says, "No currency, just vibes." And it's like the exact $70 down to the cents charge. That was probably my worst date ever.
I mean, at least he paid you back, but honey, I think he want a sugar mama. I don't think he want no wifey material. And taking his candle back at the end is diabolical.
So I met this guy on Bumble who was exactly my type. We started talking, getting to know each other, and he texted me to come over. So I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. Well, I'm driving into downtown Nashville when I get a text from him that he's like, "Hey, I'm running like 10 minutes behind at work, so I'm gonna be a little later than I thought. If you just like wanna drive around a little bit before you come to my apartment." I was like, okay, cool, no worries. Well, 10 minutes turns into 20 minutes, and 20 minutes turns into 40 minutes. I reach 40 minutes of driving around. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go park somewhere at his apartment complex. I can't be driving around this late at night in Nashville. When I'm parked, I call my roommate. I'm like, "Hey, I have been like waiting on this guy for like 40 minutes. It's so weird. It's so suspicious. Should I like just leave? Should I just come back home?" She's like, "Yeah, girl, like that sounds super weird. What's his name?" So I tell her his name. She goes, "Okay, I don't want to scare you, but if you've ever been on the Are We Dating the Same Guy Nashville, this dude's like all over there." And she sends me a Reddit thread with his allegations. So I'm sitting at his apartment complex in the middle of the night, in the middle of Nashville, reading this Reddit thread of allegations from this guy who I'm supposed to be seeing. And I'm like, I have to go home. Like, wow, I can't do this. This is so scary. All of a sudden, I get a knock on my window. It's him. He opens my car door. He's like, "Hey, so great to see you. I have this Reddit thread like on my phone." I'm like, "Hey, oh my God,
Wait, am I missing something? Did you tell him what kind of car you were driving? How did he know that it was you? And on top of that, why are you meeting up with somebody in the middle of the night? Somebody that you don't know. If I'm meeting up with you, we're meeting up in the daylight, in a public area. I'm not going with you anywhere that's secluded. We're staying in public for like at least the first like 2-3 months. Because if I can't trust you, no,
I am scared for my life, but I'm like, I'm already here. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to set him off. I don't know how he would react. So I'm like, I'm just going to go in, be nice, leave as soon as I can." We get in there. Claro is on the TV, and I'm like, dude, I'm so fucked. He's going to kill me. We sit, and
why are you going into his place?
we're having the most awkward conversation known to man, because all I can think about is how he's a criminal. We start talking about intimacy, right? And he's like, "Yeah, I like love sex, but I'm not pushy." And I was like, "Yeah, that's great. Like, don't be pushy." And he goes, "But if you don't give me head tonight, I'm going to kill you." I start laughing. I'm like, and he goes, "Oh my God, I'm just kidding. Like, did I actually scare you? You're a stranger I met on the internet who just threatened to murder me if I didn't have sex with you. What do you think, buddy?" So yeah, I was terrified. But he wouldn't like let me leave. Like every time I tried to be like, "Yeah, I'm like gonna like head out." He was super weird about it. So I ended up staying for an hour and a half, and thank God I got out of there. But yeah, that was the scariest first date of my life.
Absolutely not. If I'm ever in that situation, you best believe I'm dialing every single person in my phone until I can get somebody to answer. And then I'm going to be like, "Yeah, my friend's on the phone. I got to go," or something like that. And if nobody picks up and I'm really in that type of situation and I have evidence on my phone of this guy, I'm calling the cops. I don't call the cops like that, but in this situation, if I knew that there's potential for something to happen and this dude is not letting me leave, I'm calling the police. I don't care.
I recorded this in 3 minutes last time, but we're going to do 60 seconds because I don't think anyone watched it all the way through, and every woman who dates men needs to hear this fucking story, okay? So a friend of a friend was going on Hinge dates, meets this guy, great rapport, great back and forth, great first date. He knocks it out of the park. He's like, second date, I'm going to cook dinner for you. She's like, don't gotta ask me twice. She goes over there, he cooks her dinner. He's like, I'm vegan also, so it might taste a little different than what you're used to, but I hope you like it. And she does. She likes it. It's good. He doesn't try to hook up with her, all green flags. The next day, she wakes up violently ill, projectile vomiting all day. Goes to the ER, they run a bunch of tests, and the doctor comes in the room and he looks at her really weird and he's like, ma'am, have you consumed human meat in the last 24 hours? She realizes what has happened, calls the cops. The cops show up to his apartment. Turns out it's an Airbnb that he rented out under a fake name. It's cleared out. All of his social media profiles are cleaned. Ladies, don't let him cook for you.
Not like don't let him cook for you, but I think we need to start doing research before we be going on these dates, or not me because I'm married, but before y'all be going on these dates, you guys need to like hook up with like your girlfriends and be like, let's deep dive and figure some stuff out about this guy, because we live in a generation where everything is public. I feel like if you can't really find anything out about anybody, no social media, no friends on the social media, no nothing, I think that you need to go in there with a little bit of worry and a little bit of caution. You don't have to necessarily say anything on the date, but make sure that you keep it public and always be cautious, because that is insane. Like on a different level, I don't know what I would do if I ended up going on a date with somebody and they gave me human meat. I cannot even imagine that. Like that is actually, ugh.
Can I be honest about something? I was just thinking that you were going to be a little more calm, which is what I'm looking for. But
can you give like an example of how I wasn't quote unquote calm?
Okay, yeah. The table next to us singing happy birthday, and then you obnoxiously singing happy birthday out loud with them was kind of embarrassing. That was very inappropriate to me and honestly immature.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I feel like if it's not a good match, that's totally fine. I just feel like you unloading on me right now is just a lot for meeting each other 3 hours ago.
I get it, but communication is important, obviously, right? That's key to a relationship, so I'm communicating how I feel.
Okay.
And this is how I feel, and moving forward, beautiful personality. Obviously, you're a beautiful girl, but you acting like that isn't what I want to marry.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to put you in check so that you
I
can...
don't really think I like that specific verbiage.
Oh, sorry. So not...
I did a lot of research on this and I couldn't find anything about it being a skit or like an acting type of TikTok, but for him to tell her, I'm trying to put you in check and it's the first date, who are you? When I tell you, I'm going to tell you to stop that car, I'm going to walk my ass back to wherever the hell I am going or came from. I don't care what I'm wearing. I could be wearing 10-inch heels. I am walking my ass back because ain't no way you finna talk to me like that.
I'm not trying to put you in check. I'm just trying to make you aware so that you and I can maybe progress and see where this goes and give it another chance. One more thing though, sorry.
It was a little 6-year-old girl. She was very excited.
And but was that your family or did you know anyone?
No, I just feel like the energy that you're giving off right now is very like bah humbug. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with spreading a little joy. And she seemed very happy that I was singing along too. I'm sorry if that rubbed you the wrong way. That wasn't my intention.
I want to date a sophisticated woman.
Okay.
That's classy. That's not going to get loud. Especially when we're on our first date. You're mine. When we were on the date, it was between me and you. I felt like you... Okay, you're not mine. But on the date, it was a one-on-one situation, and you bringing a 6-year-old into it with her whole entire family.
Oh my God.
You wearing that for other people to be able to see you because...
Y'all, I don't know what it is about this video, but it really irks me. For him to even say that she's loud, and I don't really know what happened. I don't know what the situation exactly was. I'm having an understanding that he probably took her to a birthday party and she was singing along happy birthday or something like that. And he felt like that was not sophisticated or classy. I feel like even back in the day when women were sophisticated, we still sung happy birthday. I don't know, maybe we'll have to deep dive on her other videos one day, but we're gonna go to part 2.
Oh my God.
You wearing that for other people to be able to see you because, let's be clear, you're trying to impress only one person. It looked to me like you were trying to impress a whole room with you yelling and carrying on, wearing what you were wearing. Like you succeeded. I'm sure you got a lot of attention. I just don't like that kind of attention. So just moving forward.
Okay, and that's so okay. No, I actually don't think there is a moving forward. To be so real with you, this attitude that you're giving right now is not the kind of man that I would want to date. So we can just...
Or is it me being truthful?
No, I think there's a way that you can deliver information that isn't the way that you're delivering it, and clearly, like, it didn't work out. So you could have just said, "Hey, I had fun. I don't think it's a match. Like, best of luck. Wish you no ill will." I had a good time.
I just don't think that you were doing things that me in the future would, you know, want to continue to happen. So I'm telling you now, these are the things I want you to fix.
Oh, okay, yeah, so that's where you got me messed up, because there's nothing that I did that I need to fix. I am who I am, and so you can actually just stop the car right now. I can get a ride.
But I'm already driving, so...
Just don't want to spend the next 30 minutes in a car with you after that presentation.
Okay, but I'm also not going to drop you off wearing what you're wearing in the middle of the road for you.
Oh, okay. No, I actually... No,
You're seriously going to...
No, seriously.
Why is it your choice? If she wants to get out of the car, let her out of the damn car. Like, this is ridiculous. I wish somebody would do this to me. You best believe we probably get into an accident, because the way I will sock him across the face if somebody would ever do that to me, I do not play like that. Like, you're not going to tell me that I can't get out of the car. If I want to get out of the car and I want to walk, I'm going to get out of that damn car and I'm going to walk. What you going to do about it? For him to use, I'm not going to let you get out because of what you're wearing. Men and women both need to understand that you cannot point out all these flaws on the first date. If you really want a relationship with somebody, you create that bond, and then a little by little along the way, you let them know, hey, I don't really like this. Could you please do this? But you have no connection. You have no relationship. You're testing it out. Why are you gonna unload all of whatever you got going on another person? And that goes for women and men. Like, don't be unloading your emotions on somebody that you barely know. Get to know them first, because you might not even like them after the first couple of dates, not even based on what your opinion is on the first one.
No. Hold on. Wait, why?
What do you mean?
What are you tripping? I was communicating with you, dude. I was communicating with how I felt.
I'm
not
opening
saying
up
that
the
I want
door when
this
you're
done.
driving
I'm just
too.
telling you what you did wrong and how we can fix this moving
So
on.
you don't tell women what they do wrong on a first date. It just doesn't work out. And no, stop the car. I'm serious. That was actually...
You're seriously gonna leave right now? Wow.
Best of luck. Hope you find that conservative girl you're looking for.
Props to her for getting out of the car. And I don't want to see what he looks like to like blast him, but I want to see what he looks like, because sometimes like whenever you see what somebody physically looks like, it kind of like gives an idea. It's like you look at somebody and you're like, damn, he look aggressive, or ooh, he look nice, or you know what I mean? Like, I want to see what he looks like, because no way, no.
So I went on the worst first date of my life yesterday, and I have to speak about it. Just for context, this was not like a random Hinge date. This is a guy who had followed me on Instagram for over a year and had very much been the one pursuing a first date. We were meant to actually be going on a date this evening, but the guy doesn't live in London. He messaged...
I want to point out how so many of these are on Hinge dates. I've never heard of Hinge. I've never used any type of dating app, so I don't really know what that is, but Hinge is wild out there, I guess.
being like, oh, well, I'm actually going to be up for Taste of London. And I was like, oh my God, I've always wanted to go to Taste of London, but never been. He was like, you should definitely come. Why don't we swap out tomorrow for that instead? And I was like, wait, hold on, are you going with people? Like, I don't want to gate crash. And he was like, oh no, don't worry, I'm just going with a couple of people from work, but I'll be with them before you arrive. And when you arrive, you and I can go off and do our own thing. I turn up, first of all, literally cannot find this man. Like, arrive, there's no phone service anywhere. And bear in mind, we've never met in person before, so I know what he looks like in photos, but that doesn't always necessarily translate to recognizing someone in person. Anyway, finally find him in his group. He gets up to give me a hug. Everyone else just kind of looks at me and is like, hi. I got really bad vibes from the girls who were there, which I guess maybe they felt like I was crashing. I don't know, that's not how it was presented to me when I was invited. But then he's like, oh, everyone's finished their champagne, so why don't we go and get some more? And one of the girls he's with is like, can you get a nicer champagne than that one that we were just drinking? Which, already red flag. Anyway, we get the champagne for everyone, we go back, and then anyone who knows Taste of London, the whole point is going to go and experience the food, walk around, get a load of freebies, see all of the different brands there. When I tell you, this group was literally sat, not moving, the entire time. And do you know what? If it was really great vibes in the group, that would be a different thing. But it wasn't like at all. The vibes were really off. And also, the guy had said that we would just go off, the two of us. We literally sat there the entire time with this big group of people. And then I was like, okay, well, I want to go around, see some of the food, etc. And he was like, yeah, cool, I'll come with. So we go up and get the food. Now, I wanted to go around all of the like freebie stalls. He clearly wasn't interested in anything free. Anyway, we went to like go and get a ramen thing, which he wanted. And then I was in the mood for some pasta. So we went to the Italy store there and I got a cannelloni, and he wanted some like fried cheese thing. So I got that for him as well, and I paid. Now bear in mind, I also paid for my ticket to go to Taste of London in the first place. Not that I've got any issue with paying for it, but if I'm paying for it, I do also want to get my money's worth out of the event, which I definitely felt like I wasn't getting. Anyway, I took the fried cheese thing and he took the cannelloni. We go back to his group of friends, sit down, he puts the cannelloni in his friend's lap. His friend proceeds to eat the entire thing. Literally my dinner that I paid for. I'm sat there with a block of fried cheese on my lap, like I didn't even want this. Peppering in some other insights of the evening, one of the girls that he was with literally verbatim said, "Oh, I just wish there was an ability to pay someone else to go and get my food because I can't be arsed with the queues. Like, I would definitely pay someone else to do it for me." Like, sorry. Then time is moving on and I was like, do you know what, I'm having a shit time and I want to feel like I've actually been to Taste of London. So I was like, again, I think I'm going to go up and like go around some of the food stalls, like try the freebies out. This man has been to Taste of London 3 times. Tell me why. We went up to one of the stalls and got a free thing. He was like, oh, I didn't realise you could get free food here. Like, that's literally the point of the event. I do not understand. Anywho, it's getting towards the end of the evening. We've been sat with his friends the entire time. And he's like, oh, you know, what's your plan? And I was like, oh, well, like, it ends at 9:30, right? So I was like, I'll probably go home. It's a work night. And he starts ringing all of his friends, being like, oh, lads, are you still out? You still out? Ringing his friends, basically completely ignoring me. Girl that he's with, like, gets on the phone and is like, oh, yeah, we'll get a black cab to you guys. We'll be there in 20 minutes. So then, event ends. No questions on where I'm going, whether I'd like to come and join the group. We're all walking. All of the, like, wardens there are like, this way to Baker Street, you've got to go to Baker Street. And they're like, oh, well, we're getting in a black cab, so can we sneak through here and get out? And the guy was like, yeah, nobody asked to see how I was getting home. They then walk straight out, hail a black cab, all of the girls get in, and he's like, just turns to me, and I was like, well, I'm getting the tube home. And he was like, all right, yeah, nice to meet you, gives me a hug, hops in the cab, doesn't ask how I'm getting home, doesn't say, let me know when you get in, nothing like that. So that was basically the worst date I've ever been on. Basically a group date with this guy and all of his friends as a first date. He also has since had the audacity to say, thanks for the evening. And then when I didn't respond to that message, because I didn't think it warranted a response, said, all okay, question mark? Question is, do I go back to him and let him know why I was really disappointed in the evening? Or do I just leave it?
Honestly, no, you don't do that. Just leave it alone, because he was either looking for a friendship or he was looking for somebody to give him some free stuff. And at that point, whenever he gave your food to his friend and put it in his friend's lap and his friend ate it, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have gotten up from the table, walked off, and done my own damn thing, because I don't need your company if you don't want to be part of mine. If he cared and he wanted or was interested in the same things that you were, then he would have showed that. He wouldn't have done what he did the way that he did it, in the manner that he did it. It's just sad, because you're clearly a beautiful woman, and I love your accent, by the way, and it's just wrong for him to do that. And if it was anybody else, he probably wouldn't do it. So he was either looking for a friend, a free meal, or thinking he was gonna have a good time or something. And the fact that he didn't tell you to let him know whenever you got home is just another example. You know what you want, you know your worth, don't settle for less, and don't explain yourself to people who really obviously do not care.
Story time about the worst date that I've ever been on my entire life. In his car, he's not talking. He's literally not talking. I'm trying to make small talk. He's freaking weird. I'll say something, he'll say something weird in response. I can't even bring myself to fake laugh. Like, why'd you say that? Please take it back. So it's just really weird. And I asked him, I was like, can I see your phone so I can play some music? And he was like, yeah, here you go. He hands it to me. I get on his Apple Music. Every single playlist is named after me and has my picture as the cover picture. All of them. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, am I gonna get home today? I don't know. I really don't know anymore. So I act like I don't see it. And then he's like, did you see? Did you see my playlist? I was like, I saw him. Then he takes me go-kart racing. He wouldn't tell me where he was taking me. So I was like, he's gonna take me to the woods and kill me. Like, he's my stalker. Nah, he takes me go-karting, which is just a thing in itself. We get there, they're closed. So we sit in his car for 30 minutes till they open, which he's not talking, so I get on my phone, right? Wrong. He starts looking over at my phone. He's like, who are you texting? Who are you talking to? Now, you don't know me. You don't know. I don't have to tell you who I'm talking to. And if I did tell him who I was talking to, he'd get all butthurt. What do you want me to say? I'm texting other boys. I'm texting my hoes right now. But if I said that, you get all butthurt. So maybe mind your own, huh? Then he takes me to Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. But also first date, really? Anyhow.
Okay, I want to pause it because I don't think that there's anything wrong going to like Taco Bell and like fast food chains, because at the end of the day, if she's clearly not interested and knows that she's not going to want to go on a second date with him, even if he were to take her to a nice restaurant, why is she complaining about how he didn't take her to a nice restaurant? She knows that he was going to spend all that money at that restaurant, and she's already having her mind made up that she's not going to want a second date, obviously based on how she's talking. I think the first one should kind of be like fast food because it really gets you on the right track to getting to know what type of person that is and what they're okay with. And then the second date, maybe take them to a nice restaurant. A lot of women out there will go on a first date not because they want to find somebody, but because they want to get something out of somebody, because it's always been cultural that men always pay on the first date. And a lot of y'all women out there, if you know you're not going to go on a second date, you're not going to be like, oh, let's split the bill, or let me cover the bill.
We get there, he spills mild sauce all down his white hoodie. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like, I'll get napkins. And he was like, no. He gets out of the car, slams the door, leaves me in there to eat my Taco Bell. So I'm just eating my Taco Bell while he's in the bathroom for like 15 minutes, clean himself up. Comes back out with a smudged round stain. He was like, I don't have another hoodie. And I was like, it's okay. Like, he's throwing a fit. And then he was like, wait, I might have a jacket in my back seat. So then he goes back, his trunk. He goes to his trunk, gets this winter coat, puts it on, gets back in the car. I was like, okay, great. And he puts his elbow in my nacho cheese sauce. And I was like, hey, you just put your elbow in my nacho cheese sauce. He was like, are you kidding me? Which I was just like, whoa.
So I'm just going to skip to the end. I feel like the way that she's talking is a little bit bully behavior. I don't think she has to be so aggressive about it, but let's just see how it ends.
Like, I did not leave anything in that man's car. And I was like, he wants me to kiss him. Then he texts me, can I kiss you before I leave? I was like, I don't kiss on the first date. He was like, sorry for even asking. I'm sorry too. So I think he's gone. He goes up to my gate and acts like he can't open it. It's literally just a latch and you just push it open. And he was like, it's fine. I'll just wait here till your mama gets home and she can save me. I was like, no, sir, she won't. She won't save you. Please leave. And he was like, oh, I figured it out. Bye. So then I'm like, okay, great. I can ghost him. He's texting me paragraphs every day. Be like, please don't ghost me. Please don't ghost me. He's getting ghosted. I'm sorry.
I don't know. He sounded a little bit not all there, but I would have just told him to take me home. I just would have been like, yo, like, I think we can be friends, but I'm not really interested in you in this type of way, and I don't want to spend all this money if I know that I don't want to continue this, because you could have said that at any time. You came on TikTok and you're kind of complaining about it, and I don't really appreciate the manner that you're complaining about it, but that's just my personal opinion. This one is a guy that went on a first date talking about his experience.
I went on a first date this week, and I'm still not over it. I'm traumatized. Let me tell you why, and let me know how you would have reacted. So I meet this girl on Hinge. We're chatting it up.
Another Hinge.
We finally decide after about a week of talking and 1 or 2 FaceTimes, let's go out for brunch. Sorry, my phone died when I was filming that, so then I forgot about it, but we're back. So we talked about it, and she was okay with me picking her up for the date. So I get to her apartment, I text her I'm here, I let her know. She starts coming out, I get out, open the door for her, let her in. And then I hear my car lock. And I'm like, doesn't usually do that. I'm like, whatever. I walk to my side, try to open my door. It won't open. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, hey, can you press the button? Like, please unlock the car. She's just laughing in the passenger seat. And I'm like, okay, you know, funny little prank. Whatever, I like that. I'm like, okay, it was funny. Can you please let me in now? And she's just staring at me, shaking her head no. And I'm not laughing. I'm starting to think this is a little serious. At this point, it's like 3 or 4 minutes of me just pulling at the door, trying to get into my driver's seat, and she still hasn't unlocked the door. I don't have my keys, they're in the car, so it won't open. And then she looks at me through the window and mouths, watch this, and starts getting into the driver's seat. I'm like, yo, I'm banging on the window at this point. Like, what are you doing? What is happening? And she gets in the driver's seat and cracks the window a little bit, and I'm visibly angry. I'm like, Karen, what are you doing? Like, please let me into my car. Like, I don't know if you're trying to be funny, but this isn't okay. And she looks at me, smiles, and goes, I'm going to take it for a little spin. I'm pissed. I yell back, don't you dare take my car. Don't you take my car. And I watch her put it in reverse, start backing up slowly, and I'm banging on everything at this point. I'm like, do not drive away. What she do, she backs up. I'm standing in the middle of the road at this point. She just starts driving forward pretty damn fast. And I have to get out of the way or she's going to hit me. And I don't know what to do. Like, she just took my car. I don't have her location. I don't know where she's going. So I just sit there calling her for like 5 minutes straight. I'm like, hey, where are you? Where are you? No answer. No answer. None of my texts, none of my calls, nothing. And at this point, it's been 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck on a street that I'm not familiar with. I no longer have my car. My wallet's in the car. All I have is my phone. And I call the cops. They show up. I start giving my report, and they're looking at me like, wait, you went to go pick this girl up on a date, and then she stole your car? And I'm like, yeah. And they didn't really believe me. They were like, there's no way that's true. How did that happen? How did she get in your passenger seat and then steal your car from you? And I was like, officer, I got out to try to be a gentleman and open her door for her. She got in, she locked the door. And I showed them the text that I've never met this girl before. This was my first time. And they're just laughing their asses off. They think it's hilarious. They probably feel a little bad for me, but they're just laughing their asses off. But anyways, we fill out the report. She's still not back. I don't know where she went. And I'm like, okay, what do I do now? And they go, I don't know, go home. I say, can you give me a ride? Do I have to call an Uber? So I have to Uber back to my own house. This girl has my car. I have no clue where it is. They said they're going to look for it. I get home, like 2 or 3 hours go past, and I finally get a phone call. It's from the girl. It's from Karen. And she goes, why did I just get pulled over by the cops? And I answer the call, and I'm angry. I'm like, why do you think you got pulled over by the cops? You stole my car. And she's like, are you serious, dude? I was just trying to be funny. And I'm oh my God, I'm even angry retelling the story. I'm like, you were gone for hours. You just stole my car. We were supposed to go on a date. I didn't get brunch. I don't have my car. I don't know what you did. I don't know what you went through. And she has the audacity to say on the phone, I don't think this is going to work out. Sorry. Yeah, and the next day I had to go pick my car up from the pound and pay for it for the tow fee. So, yeah, probably one of my worst dates ever. Let me know what you would have done.
I don't know if this is real, but again, everything in the comments makes it seem like it is real. This is absolutely diabolical. The fact that she didn't call until she got pulled over by the cops like 3 hours later, it's not a joke. She's not joking, because she would have already gone back to the spot and been like, hey, where are you at? I don't see you. Girl, who you lying to? If somebody did that to you guys, what would y'all do? I really genuinely want to know, what would you guys do if somebody did that to you? We got 2 more videos to look at.
I went on a first date last night, and he did do the thing where guys tend to do, where they ask you about previous dates that you've been on, which can either go either way. I've had guys like legitimately ask me and then get like offended when they realize they've been on other dates, which I always think is bizarre. Like, you asked the question. Anyways, he asked me what my worst like date stories were, which reminded me of my, I think, worst, because I don't know. I think I pick decently well on Hinge, enough to at least have not like crazy date stories. This one was when I was living in Boston, and I went to this like pub bar with this guy that I had like talked with on Hinge. He seemed completely normal on Hinge. He picked this place, whatever. We get there. It was one of those where you can tell that the vibe is like immediately no. But you stay for like, at least I stay. And maybe I should get better about not staying, because there wasn't anything like inherently wrong with him. It's just I knew that the vibe was off. But yeah, I stayed for like 1 or 2 drinks, but I was carrying on my back the entire conversation. He wasn't asking me anything at all. And at one point, and I've done this on a few other dates since, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to see what happens if I stop asking questions and put you in the hot seat and what you can come up with. And I decided to do that, unfortunately, during the walk from the bar to the bus station that I was leaving him at, which was a 15-minute walk, a full 15 minutes. That is not an exaggeration. Like, I have Google Mapped it since. And when we left the bar, that's when I decided to be like, okay, I'm going to stop asking questions. We're almost done with this. I'm going to see what he comes up with. And he came up with nothing. We walked for 15 minutes from the bar to the bus station. 15 minutes. Dead silence. Neither of us were on our phones, like just full speed ahead silence together. And then we get to the bus station, and I was like gonna continue to walk home because it was like semi-walkable. And I was just like, okay, bye. And he goes, I'm sorry. And I was like, sorry for what? And he goes, I don't know. And then I cut him off, and I was like, I'm gonna go home. He still had the audacity to text me the next day asking for a second date. Were we present, like, on the same date? Obviously, like, 15 minutes of silent walking is better than, like, someone saying, like, something to my face that is horrendous. But, God, was it awful. Like, to actually experience a solid 15 minutes of complete silence because he just couldn't come up with anything to ask. I don't know. Anyways, that's my worst date story.
I don't really consider this a worst first date. I think walking in silence can be pretty calming if you guys are both kind of on the same wavelength, but you got to understand that sometimes it's hard to come up with questions. Like, some people overthink things. Some people will over prepare for the moment, and then the moment comes and they choke. I think that you probably should have given him that second date if there was nothing wrong with the first one other than him not really talking. And then depending on how the second one goes, you can go from there. But I don't really see anything wrong with this. I mean, to each their own. Some people out there might feel the same way she feels about it. But in my own personal opinion, I don't really see anything wrong with that. As an overthinker myself, sometimes I think things in my head, and then when I go say it out loud, I stop myself because I'm like, I don't want to seem weird, or I don't want this, or I don't want that. That second date might loosen up that little bit of barrier, but I don't know because I don't really do the whole dating thing. I went on one date, and that was with my husband, and now we got 2 kids.
I recently had a man I was dating come over to talk about us. And when I say dating, I mean we had been going on dates for less than a month. I think the conversation was entirely premature, but it was his idea. He wanted to have it, trust we did, and it did result in us deciding not to see each other anymore. But while we were having that weird-ass conversation, he misquoted, misremembered, I don't pretend to know what goes on in a man's head, a conversation that we had on our first date where he asked me why I was single. And he goes, well, you said that you're single because you think dating is fun and you like going on dates with new people. And while that's not necessarily untrue, that is not why I am single. I am single because I have created a life for myself that is so full and so fun, and I have yet to find a man who adds to that. I have the best friends in the world. I love my family. I love my job. I have hobbies that stimulate and fulfill me. I don't rely on anyone for anything. I pay my bills and provide for myself. I do whatever I want, whenever I want. I have made my bed and I sleep like a baby bitch. And why would I risk any of that for somebody's bum-ass son? There is nothing in this world that a man could do or give me that I cannot do or give myself. I will sooner and happily die unmarried and childless than give up any of my peace for the sake of having a partner. That is why I am single. Not because I want to put on a cute little outfit and meet a stranger at a wine bar. Although that is kind of fun sometimes.
So I guess that wasn't really a first date horror story, but I kind of want to point out some things that she said that I personally do not agree with. Having a partner is for the long run. You have to be willing to sacrifice certain things. There are things that I've had to sacrifice. There are things that my husband has had to sacrifice. If you want a partner whenever you get 80 years old, 90 years old, if you don't want to be single, then you're going to have to learn to sacrifice young. Because whenever you get older, it's not necessarily about sacrificing. It's about just being with somebody because you don't want to grow old alone. And then you guys are going to have so many more problems because your relationship is not going to be based on loving each other. It's going to be based on, as I said, not growing old alone. And that's going to be very sad, especially because I feel like people don't understand that one of the main reasons that people really want kids is because whenever you do get older, who's going to take care of you? If you don't have kids, you don't have a partner, your parents are going to pass away. Your friends are going to be the same age as you when you get older. Who are you going to have to take care of you? Who are you going to have to give you grandchildren? There comes a time where you can't really do a lot in life, and the one thing that you're going to really look forward to is being able to sit down and embrace time with your family. What family? Everybody's gone, you know? Like, I don't really know if that makes sense, but that's just how I look at it. Some people don't want kids. Kids are not for everybody. Kids are very hard. I can speak from experience, but it's all worth it to me in the end. But with that, I'm going to end the video here. Let me know if you guys have any crazy first date stories of your own. That one with the girl who had the guy on Are We Dating the Same Guy Facebook thing, that one was crazy. I think that was the craziest one from this video. But I really do want to know, like, have you guys had any experiences like this? But thank you guys so much for staying tuned for this video. Make sure you guys check out my overconsumption video if you haven't already. Leave me some suggestions for videos in the comments. Next week, I really wanted to do a video on like the whole Fabio Jackson thing, but I am new to this YouTube stuff and I don't really know how I can make a video on that and not really get copyrighted because a lot of the videos have music in them and I don't want to post a whole hour-and-a-half video of muted videos. But as always, much love and I will see you guys next week. Mwah. Bye.